rejected James, Hebrews, Jude, and Revelation. But Protestants in general accept them. Okay, so again, no's, then we have some yeses. People accept second estrus, but, it's a lot more split over second estrus. And then, of course, we have 5th and 6th Ezra, which are not actually accepted as canonical by any group within Christianity. However, it is part of second estrus within the Roman Catholic Apocrypha, or Deuterocanon more accurately, and within the Protestant Apocrypha, it is included. So, for instance, now this isn't Protestant, the King James Bible has second estrus in it, and it includes chapters 1 and 2, which is known as 5th Ezra, and chapters 15 and 16, which is known as 6th Ezra. Now, the reason why I said that the King James Bible is not Protestant is because it's actually a product of the Church of England. All of the translators were members of the Church of England, and it is a Church of England Bible. So anyways, these things were accepted in some early parts of Christianity, but none of the modern sects accept 5th and 6th Ezra. Esther is essentially accepted by all of them. Luther, as it points out in this footnote, also Melito, omitted them from the canon. Well, Melito did. He omitted it. Luther questioned whether it should be in the canon. But look, additions to Esther. This is actually a misleading name. It's that there were two ancient versions of Esther. There was a short version and a long version. The long version has more all throughout it, and the short version is missing the elements that are in the long version all throughout. So in the King James Bible, all those different parts that were in the long version that were not in the short version were then compiled together and titled The Rest of Esther, or Additions to Esther, and placed separately, when really it's throughout the book of Esther. So to gather them up together and stick them at the end is actually very confusing. But notice this. All of Christianity, except for Protestant Christianity, actually accepts the long version of Esther. Tobit is accepted by all of Christianity other than Protestant Christianity. And the reason why is that in Protestantism, the Protestant church ended up following the rabbinic Jewish canon. They didn't see that these books were in the rabbinic Jewish canon, and so they thought, well, maybe this is something that was given to us by the Roman Church, and they didn't have Hebrew manuscripts for it, which of course now books like Tobit was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls in both Hebrew and Aramaic. And we know for sure that these writings are Jewish writings, not products of the Roman Catholic Church. And ancient Judaism revered these writings highly, and some forms of Judaism absolutely accepted these books, and they were even debated within rabbinic Judaism. So anyways, Tobit is accepted by all except Protestants, Judith by all except Protestants, First Maccabees by all except for Protestants, and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. They have different books that are in some senses similar to the Maccabees, but they're called Maccabean. So they don't have First Maccabees as we know First Maccabees. The same is true of Second Maccabees. It's accepted by all traditions of Christianity other than Protestantism and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Third Maccabees is not accepted within Protestantism, although it is included within some traditions. There are some Protestant Bibles, some Protestants who included Third Maccabees in part of their Bible or as part of their Bible, but it's not accepted in Roman Catholicism. It is accepted in the Eastern Orthodox tradition and for most of the Oriental tradition. But again, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church does not actually accept Third Maccabees. I just want to scroll up again to see which church this is here. Oh, the Coptic Orthodox Church. They have Third Maccabees in some of their scripture manuscripts. So some of them, at some point, accepted it as part of their collection of scripture. Fourth Maccabees actually is not included for most of Christianity. However, within the Georgian Orthodox Church, Fourth Maccabees is part of their Bible. It's just part of their Bible. And for others within the Eastern tradition, it is included as an appendix. In some, it's an early tradition. In some, it is included in some manuscripts. So it's an interesting situation. Next, we have a series of books. The Book of Jubilees, the Book of Enoch, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Maccabean, and the what is known as the Ethiopic Pseudo-Josephus, or Zena Ihud. Now, those writings right there are not accepted by all these forms of Christianity except for the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church, out of these groups, has the largest canon. So notice here it's yes, broader canon. Some sources place this writing within the narrower canon as well. Interesting, Josephus, he's the 1st century historian, Jewish historian. He witnessed the destruction of the temple in 70 CE, and Jewish Wars, Book 6, is actually included in certain manuscripts of the Syriac tradition in Christianity as the 5th book of Maccabees. So you have books of the Maccabees, and some versions of Christianity included this as a 5th book of the Maccabees. So, in other words, it was accepted as some sort of important writing, at least, that was included within scripture collections. Very, very interesting. The testaments of the 12 patriarchs are not included by any groups of modern Christianity. However, certain forms of Christianity have manuscript traditions of the testaments of the 12 patriarchs, which shows that people in the past within those traditions accepted these writings. The same is true concerning Joseph and Asenath. It's not included by any modern Christian group, but it is included by some ancient, even the ancient groups that are represented here, or the ancient forms of these groups. So within Ethiopia, there is a list that is now in the British Museum, and it includes a Book of Asenath within the canon, which would be the Book of Joseph and Asenath. That's just the title that we know it by today. Of course, Job and Psalms 100 to 150 are all accepted by all the forms of Christianity, and Psalm 151 is accepted by all of Christianity except for the Western tradition. And even there, within Roman Catholicism, it's actually accepted in some manuscripts. Psalm 152 to 155 is not accepted in all these various sects of Christianity, other than there are some manuscripts in the Assyrian Church, and also the Syriac Church accepts Psalms 152 to 155. Interestingly enough, those psalms were found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Psalms of Solomon accepted in some manuscripts of 3 traditions in Christianity. Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon accepted across the board. Proverbs is in 2 books in the Ethiopian Church rather than 1. The book, The Wisdom of Solomon, is accepted by all of Christianity except for Protestantism. It's in the Apocrypha within Protestantism. Same as the Wisdom of Ben Sirach, or Sirach is how it's also called, and it's accepted in all sects of Christianity other than Protestantism. The Prayer of Solomon Sirach chapter 52 is how it is in certain manuscripts, is not accepted in any form of modern Christianity, though there is some manuscript evidence of acceptance within the Roman Catholic tradition. So I hope that you guys are starting to get the idea that, there's a lot more here going on than one might expect at first. And then you have the major prophets. Okay, Isaiah accepted by all. Ascension of Isaiah not accepted by everyone, but perhaps liturgically within the Armenian Apostolic Church and in early tradition of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Ethiopic lamentations are included within the Ethiopian Church. Baruch is accepted by all Christianity except for Protestantism. The letter of Jeremiah, all these Christianities, it's included in all of their Bibles except for the Protestant Bible. And then we have the Syriac Apocalypse of Baruch, or otherwise known as Second Baruch. And it is not included in most of Christianity, but it is included in, let me just scroll up again, the Syriac Orthodox tradition. They have Second Baruch as part of their canon. And then there's some manuscript evidence within the Assyrian Church. Likewise, there's the letter of Baruch, which is contained in the in Second Baruch, and it is accepted by both of these same churches. Then we have Third Baruch, which is accepted by none, but it's in some Slavonic and Greek manuscripts. Fourth Baruch is only accepted in the Ethiopian Church. Ezekiel, Daniel by all. The long version of Daniel, it's kind of the same situation as you find in Esther, but not entirely. And it's accepted, the additions to Daniel, or the longer version of Daniel, is accepted in all churches other than Protestant churches. The minor prophets, everyone accepts. So that's the Old Testament. That's kind of significant. I hope that you guys can recognize how, hey, yeah, that's a lot of different types of Christianity, different Christianities, and they have different Bibles. Now, the New Testament, again, this is the same thing, but, it's considering the New Testament writings or writings that were candidates to be accepted in the New Testament. This is only a representation of modern Christianity with some reference to ancient Christianity, potentially in the footnotes. And this is only a partial picture. It'd be really impossible to get the full picture laid out on a Wikipedia page like this, or at least it would be very